What if Noble Six had escaped Reach? Part 2. We begin, like we do in the beginning of Halo 2, with an awards ceremony for the veterans and survivors of the battle in the first Halo ring, except this time, Captain Keyes and Noble Six are there as well. Just like in the original timeline, the Prophet Hierarchs are pissed at Thel 'Vadam for failing to protect the first Halo ring, but in secret they promote him to Arbiter and send him off to go kill the heretic leader. Meanwhile, back on Earth, because Captain Keyes survived, this time he's able to direct the ships in defense of Earth's fleet, and he's able to do a more effective job than Admiral Hood did in defending the Earth, and so way more ships on the human side end up surviving. Noble Six and Master Chief absolutely tear it up and defend the Cairo, the Athens, and the Malta from the antimatter bombs, stopping all three from being blown up by the Covenant. Because there are more human ships surviving, and because no orbital defense platforms were taken offline like in the original Halo 2 timeline, the Regrets carrier is unable to just blow through their defenses and land on Earth unharmed. This time, the orbital defense platforms, as well as the human ships that survived, are able to severely damage Regrets carrier, forcing it to land on the Earth, just like what happened to the Truth and Reconciliation in Halo 1. Buck and his ODSTs end up boarding the ship like they originally were going to do in the intro cutscene of Halo 3 ODST. So Sergeant Johnson, Buck, and his ODSTs board the ship and absolutely make short work of the honor guards that are on the ship. Meanwhile, Master Chief and Noble Six waste no time finding the Prophet of Regret and riddling him with bullet holes, basically turning him into ugly brown spongy Swiss cheese. This obviously does not sit well with the other two Prophet Hierarchs, who demote the elites and promote the brutes and kill the elites like they do in the original timeline, except this time it happens earlier. This time, the Prophets betray the elites before the Arbiter has time to make it to Threshold and kill the heretic leader. While Half-Jaws, aka Artis Vadam, is on his way with the Arbiter to go kill the heretic leader, the radio signals out that the Prophets have betrayed the elites. When they land on Threshold, they are actually willing to sit down and listen to Guilty Spark and the heretic leader about the fact that their religion is false, and the fact that the Prophets have been lying to them this whole time, and they're actually able to recruit the heretic leader as an ally to fight against the brutes and the Prophets. So when Tartarus lands on Threshold to steal Guilty Spark and kill the elites, they absolutely jump him and gut him. Tartarus has no chance. He does not survive his encounter with the Arbiter on Threshold whatsoever. He absolutely gets destroyed. Meanwhile, back on High Charity, the Covenant Civil War has absolutely erupted, and the brutes, given that they're more fierce fighters on the ground, actually end up winning the ground battle. So the brutes and Prophets absolutely take control of the ground of High Charity, since the Arbiter and Half-Jaws and all the elites are better space commanders. They end up dominating the airspace and outer space around High Charity, so the elite ships form a perimeter around High Charity while the brutes control everything on the ground. Back on Earth, after they've killed the Prophet of Regret, Noble Six and Master Chief drive around the streets of New Mombasa, pretty much clearing out any remaining Covenant and just wrecking them left, right, and center. What we see looks more like the E3 trailer for Halo 2, which is what we should have gotten in the regular game, but we actually get it now because Noble Six survives. Unlike in the original storyline, there is no second wave of Covenant that come down to Earth after the events of Halo 2, because those brutes are preoccupied back at High Charity fighting the elites. So after the elites realize that they have lost High Charity, they come down to the humans to form a truce and discuss strategy for how to take out the Prophets and end the war. Now, because Captain Keyes and Noble Six are still alive in this timeline, they are way more skeptical than Admiral Hood was about working with the elites, because they think the elites are trying to trick them. So after a lengthy set of tense negotiations, the elites and humans agree to send the Spartans and an elite strike team to High Charity to destroy the Prophet hierarchs and put an end to the Covenant. Albeit this is a reluctant truce because they really don't get along that well. After all, they were just at war with each other a few days ago. Back on High Charity, the Brutes' victory is short-lived because they revert back to their aggressive primal nature. They start betraying each other and even eating the Jackals and the Grunts, which basically causes the Covenant to fall apart from the inside, even without the Flood being involved in this storyline. The strike team arrives in High Charity to take them out. Master Chief, Noble Six, and Half-Jaws are busy fighting a smorgasbord of brute chieftains, while Caesarephaemi, the heretic leader, as well as the Arbiter, push forward to go kill the Prophets. The Prophets basically lock themselves down in their inner sanctum when suddenly Caesarephaemi comes up behind the Prophet of Mercy and guts him, and the Arbiter cuts the Prophet of Truth in half with an energy sword. This brings an end to the Covenant finally. At the end, the humans and the elites form a permanent ceasefire. The elites go home, and the humans steal the Forerunner Dreadnought as well as any engineers that were on High Charity, and they take them back home as well as Guilty Spark, and they advance their technology.